that
Wait, I'm just gonna press. What is this? This meeting is being live streamed. Okay. Yep. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon.
I was basically sharing that people take life sometimes like it's I think there's a space of like seriousness. There's always a space of being serious, meaning meaning how do you take life seriously? Is there a lot of meaning in your life? Is there a lot of like intention? Is there a lot of focus? And in that process, I believe that there needs to be a lot of fun and joy and so
And weird.
yeah, and that weirdness. It's so funny because I woke up this morning and I was thinking actually like, oh, what, we're so weird. It's so good. Um, um, the black sheep, the eccentric ones, like the people that stay away from group think, the ones that think for themselves. Like this is what I believe is a blessing. Um, and you know, even having talked yesterday about some of the things that I was uh, struggling with in terms of
Right.
just being wanting to get things. I realized that it's after conversing about it, it's after expressing about it, it's after allowing it to ventilate, that it helps you create space for blessings.
Oh. Yeah. Ventilation is an interesting one. Yeah, definitely is. It's somehow it's also like I don't know. For me, it's difficult to recognize that part still. Yeah. So for example, what I mean that is like, oh, I have a feeling now that I need to ventilate, and I need to ventilate with someone.
Mm.
I rather notice when I'm already ventilating in the middle of it. I could be like, oh, I just need to ventilate, no solutions needed, just let me like fucking go
Yeah,
all bunkers here, and then that's it,
yeah,
it's done. And
yeah.
then you like when you say the blessing is very beautiful, after what comes is it's a bliss, and then the universe starts rearranging again everything for us, where uh, before venting we, I think, by default start feeling as a victim of life,
Mm.
like not a creator anymore. And then once we went, we go back to our hearts. That is calmer. It calms down, then the heart starts radiating and doing its thing. But yeah, and we've been noticing that yesterday, and yeah, it's just beautiful how universe dances with. And that's, I mean, you venting yesterday, it's a lot of courage, because it's like you being you.
Mm-hmm.
You step, like, I wanna admire that yesterday, you sharing your ventilation, it empowered me
Mm-hmm.
to step in more into responsibility, more in the way, in my integrity. Like, I'm definitely felt inspired on many levels. So thank you for that. And I don't know if you want to, how much you want to share about it, and this uh about what, like, yeah, it's your story.
Well, for me, it was just really about communication, right? Like I being very open and about partnerships and in business. It's important to be communicative and effective, to especially when you're building a new venture that I believe is going to change the nature and pioneer a huge opportunity for a lot of people. So having that foundational communication with your business partners for me is really important. And yesterday I didn't feel like I was having that. And it was beautiful because after we got off the call, the business partner, he ended up calling me, and we had a beautiful conversation. And we really, and it's beautiful because the mind can play tricks, right? The mind is always able to play tricks on us. um However, it's about even being in that conversation to then say, hey, like, this is how I'm feeling, and owning those feelings, and not projecting those feelings onto the business partner or the other leader or the other person. So it's like, okay, this is my stuff, this is how I'm feeling, but you need to know that I'm feeling like this.
Yeah, sure. Vent again.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that there's a really big difference about saying, hey, you're making me feel like this versus I'm feeling like this. I need to take ownership, but I need you to know why I feel like this. And that is then awareness. That is then offering a business partner, a person that you want to really grow with, a person that you really respect, true, authentic, and vulnerable expression of the way that you are in your nature, and what your needs are to move forward, to move past it, and then to
Yeah.
also teach them and yourself how to get through it. Because at the end of the day, I believe that if we all take more responsibility of these types of conversations, and we don't project or blame or push our problems onto others, but instead just share them in an open and vulnerable, authentic way. And then from that place, like, just, it's almost like announcing, and it's not like you're putting all your shit onto them. It's actually about, that's how much you respect and love them, and that's
Uh-huh.
how much you really want to build with them, that you are so in need of them to understand where you're coming from.
Are you done? I wanna jump on that. I
Please.
start doing something similar with my people around me that I call my family, and I know there is still a lot of people in the world in different kind of stages in development, and to recognize that what you were sharing, it's some kind of stage of personal development that is achieved through various experiences and analyzing the universe. And this is a super aware state, somehow comes to say. And then I notice when people come with me that I love, and I know by default that they are love me and they care about me. But when the projection starts coming towards me, and I know I haven't done anything, right? So I don't have to defend. I don't have to protect myself. It's just like, yeah, like, welcome to ventilate, whatever, without them even knowing that they went ventilating. And how I started to meet that, I would say, I feel it's coming from love. Thank you. I know it's a love talking. Doesn't matter. Is it frustrate? I like, for like, I would accept it as care. I was like, yeah, thank you. I feel that's caring. And what you were saying, why 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 all that turbulence was yesterday coming in you, because you actually care to work with him, and you care about your own respect, and you want to respect him on the same as you respect yourself. And it's just beautiful, to be a part of this kind of union that we somehow, for some reason, call business. But it's I think that label business is just a label, because it's a relationships. It's like we in the same boat, we in the same ship, we sailing together. And maybe it is business in some ways, but it is also family. It's
Well,
tribe. Like,
well,
we
that's
would
the
be
thing, is that
moving.
I believe that we're redefining the art and the language of business in our current era. And we're showing people that business actually is not just business. It's not like personal and business. It's not, it's the same.
There is no
And
separation.
that's right.
Exactly.
And so to me,
Uh,
that was like, I heard somebody say that a couple days ago to me, and that was a big red flag. Um And I think it was at the moment I noticed it, but what I realized is that the subconscious of mine created a red flag and really created a different barrier and changed the circumstances in the universe, because when they said that, it almost like it almost created like something in my body, like personal and business is different, but it's not. It's
No.
again, for me, it's actually extremely the similar thing. It's the same thing.
That's why I love the way you say how we do one thing, that's how we do everything. So
Right.
if you know, if we don't detach business from ourselves, we don't, if we, because we cannot fundamentally, we can think that it's separate, but it's not. If we own it completely as a part of ourselves, then we can start leading by the heart. Then we can start leading by principles. If we use it as some kind of entity that it has its own energy, and even, like I can put that, for example, that energy, that entity Bitcoin is, but we still unite on it. It unites all of us. Yeah. So there's even, yeah, there is no separation.
Mm-mm.
How can you send me the link? I would like to drop it into Atlantis.
Do you want the
And then
do you want the link? Do you want the link
Zoom, invite people.
for
It's it's
for
it's,
YouTube
it's Sunday blessing. So
do you want the YouTube link, or do you want
Zoom,
the, sorry?
Zoom,
Oh, the Zoom link. Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um there you
Just gonna drop it. Copy.
go. Yeah, I do really love, I love how you said that, because I do really respect and love and admire him. Uh, he's a very good man. In fact, what I love most is that when I'm spending time with him or we're talking, there's a feeling I get, and I trust that feeling. So that feeling is something that like puts me in a place of peace, you know? So I trust the feeling even more than what my mind is trying to tell me. So whenever we're having a conversation, whether I'm when I'm sitting with people, are you frozen? You are frozen.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry, somebody put
Okay.
the satellite on and the Wi-Fi got connected, but there's no internet. Cool. So what you were saying
I was
about the
saying that,
feeling?
yeah, so like what I love most about communicating with people, and when you trust in that feeling, there's an element of peace. And so it doesn't matter what my mind is trying to tell me. It's like, hold on a second, this is about the feeling. You have to trust the feeling. The feeling is what's actually the real guidance. The mind is trying to tell you something different based off of your egoic paradigm. And there's still intelligence in the decision. So there has to be a balance. However, and that's where the principles come in. However, the feeling is what makes you create resilience. It makes you find a solution.
And that's just following the feeling. It's also meaning surrendering to the unknown and trusting the universe.
Yeah.
That's also how simple it can get.
Yeah.
Sunday blessing.
Yeah, because he's a real brother. He you can
Yeah,
feel it, you know? I
yeah.
mean, he's
And
a
it's
real
easy
brother. He
to judge it, and it's easy to always, like to resent. But what you did is that's more difficult. Maybe still as it is now, but in the future, I think we're gonna cultivate even that behavior. Like recognizing, ventilating, sharing, transforming, and uniting, rather.
well, that's the thing is we're both taking responsibility. So we're all actually it's not even just both, it's everybody at the table is taking responsibility. And that's what's
Yeah.
beautiful is like, that's what thoughtful disagreement is about. That's what finding solutions is about. That's what's like not running away and facing each other is about. That's what society is about.
And this is about responsibility. And this is about responsibility, where I see, it goes even deeper. Is like, again, let's say we have this agreement, you and I, and we stop doing these calls, and we stopped working on our missions because of that disagreement. Then we are in our ego traps, basing on like, I am more important than the mission, which responsibility is the mission. So for me, it doesn't that awareness does not allow me to take things personally so easy, to
Mhm.
to so I kind of embodying, it's not about me anymore. Like, it's, yes, I am in the journey, I'm enjoying the journey is my destination, journey is my success, and that gives me very easy to navigate. uh,
Mhm. Trust. Yeah.
Trust is a good one to practice. And what I wanted also to add, I guess, to responsibility part, that um, just now been talking about it, so understanding it and embodying the part of responsibility, it gives me, I would say, full on unconditional, like, I I don't know how to express, but unconditional presence of the other. Like, if it's because others persons, I cannot delegate what I'm feeling responsible for.
Mhm.
It's just by default of nature. The only one who knows what I know, it's me. And if I have the feeling in the knowing that I can climb that peak, doesn't matter what everybody will tell me. That's a rite of passage. That's the hero's journey to climb that mountain, because the one knows that it can do. And maybe it's never been done, it's never been tried. That strong drive in us, just I think we cannot live with that calmly if we know we can, and it's our thing to do. Responsibility is it's a fun one to explore with freedom. Because it's just no separation again in that one. There is
I love
there is nobody who is leading us, who is leading you, except, as you would say, our divine creator, which is through our feeling, communicating with us. um and that's a beautiful part of experience, for me, to learn how to lead myself, and what is the leadership in general. And I love, when I adopted Nala, I didn't understood about leadership. I learned that I didn't knew about leadership anything. Like literally. Through words, I could lead. But through my energetical way of being and leading from the heart, not controlling the dog, but leading. So the dog is following by its nature, it's like it wants to be a part of whatever I'm doing, and it wants to run away, or like it's just like it stays next to me, like having a energetical leash where I can play with a dog, where there's no room for anger because we have this communication. I learned a lot about leadership for myself from dog. It's a very interesting, was a very interesting exploration. I think again, like that's I learned that from Cesar Milano on YouTube. He's teaching a lot about dogs, and he's a very spiritual approach and energetical approach, which is it was very interesting for me to study, especially because it's the same principles and the same foundation principles with as a Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's just Cesar Milano gives that in concrete practice how to use manifestation and energy, how to play with energy, because the dog is energy, right? Like playing with
Absolutely.
energy. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all energy.
It's all energy, fundamentally. Even this video is energy.
Yeah. And I think that's what I've learned a lot. I've learned how to fundamentally understand energy.
Yeah.
And um, because we are energy, right? So if we can
Yeah.
understand ourselves as energy, and we can learn how to navigate and uh, influence our own energy really in a powerful way of calmness and
Mhm.
precision, then that energy will equals our emotion, our energy in motion, and it will start to change our lives.
Yep. Yep. Bitcoin shows up, community shows up. Here you go. We've been here waiting for you. Kind of. Yeah, and I
Well,
feel also interesting with when I used to do a lot of meditations, intentional meditations. I I literally was dreaming about Bitcoin in so many ways into existence. It's just interesting process of discovering it that is already exists.
well, I was having a conversation the other day with family, I would say soul family from Australia, and you know, it's interesting because people like he extremely knows the fundamentals and the responsibility of what's happening within uh, the economic standpoint of how Bitcoin is developing a change in the economy and the system. But in addition to that, uh, there's a lot of people that he coaches and supports that then get kind of shiny object syndrome, and then they want to jump into the meme coins and all the alternative coins and all these other things because they're
Mhm.
just like, oh, this is cool, and then they get fundamentally kind of distracted, he says. And this distraction is kind of like where people start to go into the trading and not doing all these types of different things. But he completely agrees, not but, and he completely agrees that the focus should be the foundation. The foundation should be so with these Bitcoin development calls, whether it's on the one that we have on Mondays, or I'm going to do a second call probably for the Australia market as well, or the Australian people.
Mm.
Again, and he said he can start it in a couple weeks, but I might start it sooner and just get it going.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
nice.
and just start building that level of communication so that it's there, it's available, it's frequent, it's eventually a consistent kind of expression, uh, so that the conversations are starting to become very much more aware. And he's like, well, what's the outcome of this? Well, the outcome is really about helping people understand that it's not just about making money, it's about creating wealth. It's about helping people refine and understand their wealth, because if people are diluted by the facade of what actual money is, they don't actually ever really truly understand their wealth in their nature. And so, because it's not real, it's a convoluted, distinctive um story that has been passed on for so long that we all chose to believe it, including myself.
Yeah. I
And
think
so,
wealth is a mindset. Um,
100%.
Again, it's also a choice.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's say we all have a lot of Bitcoin, and that makes us feel more wealthy, but like it's just in the realm of thought, that exists. Anyways, so even in Bitcoin, wealth is a mindset. And what is wealth? I would say it's a term that it can be explored or in many directions. But I think, yeah, community, family, health, clear mind. I think those are way beyond what money can bring. More important in wealthy aspect. Yeah, freedom of choice, of course, is it's a big one.
Hmm. I'm really excited for this year. I think that this year is going to be probably one of the pivotal years of our stepping into our true nature, brother. Many of us, but I do feel like we are really laying a very, and there's many of people around, but I do feel like we're laying a big foundation in the infrastructure,
Mm.
um, that will then just continue to expand. And I really find that that's exciting part. Um, I just trust it so much. I trust the way that we're moving and the way that is happening, and the groundedness of it all. The
Mm.
the way that the journey has become so,
Fundamental somehow.
yeah, it just like it's become so simple, so
Mm.
so simple to
Yeah,
making it
which is in some ways simple. This foundation is pretty simple. Everything is energy. Yeah. No one is jumping on a call today, huh? Sunday.
yeah,
Nobody's coming to a temple gathering.
mm. Um, yeah.
So, does anything moved yesterday? Any updates, news?
It was really nice because it's actually more about learning patience, learning
Mm,
um to rest a bit,
mm,
um and focusing really on just taking in like a health day for myself. This has been the frequency that I've been hearing from different mirrors. Like, hey, Eric, just take a moment to just be and relax.
mm, mm,
Take a day of rest for yourself.
mm,
Um, so it's like I can sense it because it's all happening at once. Like not having anybody here around me. You so graciously, sending me to the spa. Um, David saying, take a day of rest. Trish being like,
mm.
hey, I'm
Yeah,
taking a mental health day.
that's so cool.
And so many things, so many people just kind of like offering me the suggestion of just taking some rest uh,
Uh,
in such a loving and necessary way that uh,
Universe just tries to bombards you with love from all angles of life,
yeah,
and wants you to, hey brother, maybe you rest, huh? Maybe it's not that you look tired, it's like it's not about that completely, because
yeah,
as we just spoke, it doesn't the work doesn't apply anymore. It's more like a play. Therefore Sundays it's a play day as well. And yeah, yeah, again, it seems like manifestation is the or that future potential of you being in a spa and loving yourself and enjoying that. It's penetrating your reality through your beliefs, kind of. It's coming down on you. You want it or not, it's gonna happen. It has to happen. You're just postponing it too much.
I booked a massage today. I have one today.
Amazing. I'm so happy. Yeah, so much
So
better. It's so much better than Satoshi's in the account. Satoshi's is great, but what's the point if it's just laying there? Where again, fundamentally for me, it's about the journey.
yeah,
Yeah, oh, it's
yeah,
beautiful. But
I, I really recognize the pattern, and I do feel, nature and in all her glory, she's really taking care of me in so many ways. I have I have been very blessed by extreme groundedness so that my mind is sound. Uh, and I believe that it happened for a reason. So, what I mean by that is, I believe that all of us are geniuses, that we all have a powerful capacity to learn, and that there is mental wealth within us all as long as we go out and make things happen. And I think that, not I think, I know that there are many people in this world that have been wrongfully diagnosed with things that are not necessarily true because they've been failed to be misunderstood. And
mm,
the world became my playground the more I started getting curious about this. And I started to travel and learn. But if I didn't take the actions,
exactly, and that's a
if I
proof of
didn't,
work.
yeah, if I didn't take the actions, if I didn't take the movements, if I didn't travel, if I didn't do these things that were scary and uncertain and different, then I don't believe from my perspective that my mind would be so sound, because I would be just stuck in my head of the stories versus having the experience. And so I'm very
Mm,
blessed because I've proved it to myself, right?
mm,
That okay, I can do it. I can go into any environment and change the nature of the experience. However, the
mm,
most important thing was believing that I could, and that turned into an experience. And so today there's a lot more certainty in the soundness of my mind, so that I don't feel like I am
mm,
having an existential crisis,
yeah.
which strengthens my ability to be by myself or alone, which is as all one, and to be that calm and peaceful about it today has given me so much certainty without fear. And here's
Mm,
the thing is that fear oftentimes it comes from the same belief as faith. It's only which way we want to direct our energy, towards faith or towards
mm.
fear.
It's like anxiety or excitement, I think, is the same. It's just, again, is it that what you mean? It's just a choice of which
Right,
one to believe.
right.
Mm,
And the more peaceful we can approach any situation, the more, I believe, the more soundness comes from the manifestation of it, because you're not driven by emotion, right? You're not, it's not like, oh my God, I feel like a reactive kind of state. You're more in of a responsive state. You're willing to understand and get curious about the feelings rather than fully react and get into that level one or reactive thinking. You're way more willing to listen to different narratives, to different patterns, to different experiences.
So
And
now,
I and
so
I,
now,
I believe I believe that
sorry.
there's like a mental health crises where people have thought, only because they are coming from this egoic paradigm that is only about themselves, that they're, as you know, the elevation of our collective consciousness evolves and the environments continue to become way better, it's going to be an inherent nature and a responsibility for more people to understand their values and principles, because that expansiveness or that knowingness, it's going to change the way that they've been born to believe, and that status quo, it's gonna shake them. So it's super important to be peaceful in our nature, because that's what's going to help the compass of morality for people
Mm,
to drive and kind of see the mirror of their own ability and transparency to move forward with their own decisions, if that makes sense.
mm, mm, mm. So yeah, it's like you're so peace, and maybe because of you traveled the world, maybe because you lived for years in the unknown, maybe because you faced all your fears. Maybe that's why you can now be calm, because the world exists there, but the important things is to do in Alberta right now, and that's where you're sitting, right? Because it's like it's so beautiful. It's so poetic, all your story. have you read the book Robin Sharma? Or what is the Alchemist? No, it's not Robin Sharma. Alchemist.
Paulo Coelho. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's you kind of in that story, right? And then comes back and oh, it's under the tree. Oh, my brother's been working on that already. I just need to plug in and okay, let's here it is. The gem. I was always I came from here. um it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to be a part of this. Operating from peace is it's a wonderful and I think very inspiring thing to do. And that's the main thing that is I think important is inspiration. How we live and the rest, who we inspire, how we inspire, it's not up to us, you know. It's complete free market. That's one of the free market from the foundation. No manipulation, but rather just sharing the stories, experiences, and then people can choose. Yeah, so it's the same with inspiration. It's just beautiful now with Bitcoin. We can tip for inspiration. Zappy. I mean, we always could with cash and stuff, and it was funnier maybe to do before we start losing all of that. But now it's again fun. Fun to share or to. That's what I do on Noster. You know, like when I scroll, and then somebody writes, I feel touched, inspired in some way. I send that to somebody. I immediately reward the person that came it from. I share. It's okay. Like thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I like this. There is a very cool wisdom I learned from Japanese Honda or something like that. He talks about
Ken
money.
Honda. Ken Honda.
Yeah, he talks about money, and he suggested this practice, which I think is very beautiful, and I've been playing with that for some years. Arigato in, arigato out. So information in, thank you coming in, thank you coming out. Money, thank you coming in, thank you coming out, thank you coming out, thank you coming in. Both ways. Arigato.
Yeah, we did a really great podcast together, him and I.
Oh, you had him on a podcast. He's a great inspiration for me. He asked this beautiful question, which I've been asking many people, and I was embodying it. And I have this vision actually for Bitcoin, but his question was, if you would describe the money as a human entity, what kind of characteristics, what kind of body type, what kind of occupation it has, you know, what is money as an entity in your perception? And that's as I think it helps to organize very well what money is for me. I just want to wrap the story, and then I'm curious to hear about him. But for me, when I went into thinking what is money for me, I saw my money was the sprinters, like dogs, so excited, and they're like, "How can we serve you? What can we do today? How can we play? How can you?" My kind of money situation is always on a sprint, just waiting a command to go and play. You know, energy, serve, do something, not sit at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm curious about how was your experience with him?
Listen, I think he has an extremely beautiful and happy way of seeing wealth, and he calls it happy money, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you should actually check out the podcast. It was really beautiful. I
I'm
didn't when I
thinking
was
maybe we should invite him here rather.
yeah, yeah, we could. Yeah,
Yeah. If you have a
we could.
connection, then it would be fun
Yeah, of
to
course.
talk about Bitcoin with him.
We could bring him and we could bring maybe many others, but like I think that and that's the thing is having more people share their wisdom in an open structure like this is actually the reason why the Bitcoin development side of it is going to be so valuable on the Monday calls, because
Mm,
we can then also invite a lot more uh, just people to experience the wisdom of the collective. It's not just one
mm,
person,
mm, mm.
you know.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any structure for Monday or flow?
No. At first, I think for me it's going to be more of the flow is about facilitating curiosity and allowing people to kind of bring their awareness of where they're at
Mm,
and where they're from, so that they can also share a little bit about themselves. Because
yeah.
the nice thing about hearing who is there at it's like it's about listening to who actually is also coming to these meetings, or to these uh, and what they're already doing in the space, because then it gives us the capacity to understand their thought process or their map of the world and the way
Mm,
that they see the development,
mm,
and then opening up that open dialogue, so that that open conversation creates a collective awareness for anybody that's listening, meaning that it's not about one person
mm,
or one person sharing. It's about each person having their voice, but being able to have that open dialogue in a constructive way where it's still
mm.
facilitated, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like harmonizing frequencies.
Right.
You know.
Because and so by the way, I love that you brought that up, because Andrew Carnegie,
I don't
he
know
would sorry?
Andrew Carnegie. I don't know.
Yeah, Andrew
About him.
Carnegie, he was like one of the richest men in the 1800s during and after World War One, about
Mm,
the steel industry. And so he would harmonize people in a room to think as one. So he moved every energy
mhm,
into every space as one. So he would facilitate in such a capacity the
mm,
conversation to help it become like one big conversation, not one person talking, but
yeah,
one big conversation. So the harmony
mhm.
became like a mastermind speaking. It was like a curation of
Interesting. It's
magic,
orchestrating energy,
right?
orchestrating energy, and extra like getting the magic out of it. Sounds like
Right.
so.
So this is the philosophy that I want to bring to all these group calls, because
I
then
love it.
that whoever is listening at the recording or the way that it's being communicated, it's not just about the one person. It's never about the one person. It actually is about, and people also chiming up, not like having to wait to raise their hand, but like them just saying, hey, this is what I believe in at that moment, because that's what's coming through, because that's where the passion is, and they have to
Mm-hmm.
say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
um
But to allowing also chaos and like playing with it together.
Right, because then that's where collective conversation happens.
Definitely.
I mean, think about it. When we're having a conversation in a group, wherever we are, Sigitas, whenever we've been
Mm,
around, and we're having a really intelligent conversation with five, six, eight people, we're all listening to each other, right? And we're having
mm,
these conversations. And then how often are we listening to one another? And then all of a sudden, you or me or somebody else, and it will say something because it will spike our passion, but then as a result, it starts to move the energy in a different dialogue. But we're listening. It's not like we're interrupting. We're allowing people to finish, right? We're allowing people to listen. And in that moment, we're saying, excuse me, I would love to just share. Is it possible? Or I have a question, and as a result, that starts to create harmony in the conversation. But then whoever is observing and listening in those conversations is actually listening from a collective awareness. Whether it's consciously or not, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It's so interesting.
Because when it's unconscious, it's still the subconscious, because it's going into the frequency of the energy that's happening around us.
And this is what Ray Dalio quote you put in Atlantis, I think, where he was, I don't remember exactly the quote, where he was create an environment where, if pretty much in my words, right, if somebody feels that it has to say something important, it would never remain not said,
right,
in some way. And that's again what we were talking earlier. It's based on feeling. Sometimes it's just buggling, like I need to say, I don't know why, but I just need to put it out there right now. That's it. It's been said. You do whatever you want with it. Done it. That's it. I'm experiencing those sometimes, where I just need to say, and it's usually it becomes something out of it.
Oh, we have a guest.
Yeah. Who dare to come to the temple?
Yay.
I'm so curious.
Andrew, Andrew's here.
Andrew!
Woo!
Here we are.
What's up, friend?
We missed you. We were like,
busy Sundays.
I
We missed
just
you
saw
for
the
sure.
link. The kids are out of the house with my wife, and my wife decided to do my hair this morning.
you look
So
beautiful, bro.
I'm rocking a new do. We're gonna see where this goes. She's trying to turn me into like a K-pop star because she's really thinking about chopping the whole underneath part and having me go super curly in the front. I'm like, let's do this.
Guys, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh man, you were first. I wanted to do the same with that opportunity. So you are our bathroom time.
What up, buddy?
How are you?
Bio break.
What's up?
Oh man, I'm just taking some time to get my priorities straight, my project. It's too much, man. I got just some serious stuff I got to chomp through, but I made a huge breakthrough. I have I invited you to that new Telegram group, the ASE Ventures.
That's the one. I didn't connect those two. Okay, now I know what was the invitation about.
Yeah. Well, if you look at did you look at the picture of the group? Did you zoom in? You gotta look at the picture, man.
Let me see. What did you create there? Of course, there must be something.
Come on. Only for you, basically, and maybe Eric.
Yeah. I no doubt something that's flying. Where is the invitation?
I sent it in WhatsApp. I'm pretty sure.
No, so in WhatsApp there is a text only, but there's no. You asking me if I want to join the group. So I didn't got the invitation.
Oh, sorry, I'm dumb.
Uh-oh. But it's very good because I wanted to make sure that I know what I'm signing onto, and now I know. Now I can connect the dots.
Here we go. Yeah. No, good feedback. I tried to. Maybe for you, I didn't give enough information because I knew you'd be in. I was like, he's in, and then I never sent you the link to bring you in. Nope, that's not it.
Why is not coming? You aware, brother, that we are recording the session and streaming live?
That's cool. That's cool. I saw that. I accept you. I accept. Here we go. Copied. Invite link, copy to clipboard. You cool. You working.
Bro, I love you. I love you. I know you're so cool. I love it. You know how to pull my strings for sure.
There we go. Yeah. Plus, again, I just need people to talk to in the morning.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's what I needed to see. I know what it is.
Secret driver. Nobody knows. Only the true insiders know what that means.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so I'm super pumped because what I basically have done, and I've been needing to do this forever, is I'm finally gonna rebrand my oldest company, the original company that's been since 2015, my LLC, basically my first company that I formed, which is called Venturely Co., which is kind of a mouthful. And so I've had a few different websites. Long story short, I finally landed on a new website, which I'm super pumped about, which is just going to be called ase.vc. So Andrew Scott Easton Venture Capital, basically.
Mhm.
So I'm pumped. One project down.
You know what I really like about Andrew Scott Easton? It's also Andrew Sagita's Eric.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
Everything you
There
do,
it
we
is.
own the part of it. You want it or not, we are co-owners of this reality. So let's go.
Do you guys want to buy into an 8-year-old company? It's got some very interesting IP and mechanics, and I'm happy to. I can't just hand you a piece. That's free money, my friends.
No,
There's no free
it's
lunch.
okay. It's okay. We already in the name. We already mentioned in the name, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, no, Eric, I was showing Siggy, I've got my like to-do list, and these are all my like significant projects. And I have too many of them. I can't have 6 projects. That's just stupid. So I'm trying to figure out
what's all the projects.
Is there any way
about?
you can? Is there any way you can connect them to make 5 or 4, but like to put them together, or they need to be
or
separate?
one big one?
No, because maybe one that can get looped together for sure. But they're just they're just fairly independent and quite different. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Do you want to share about them, and then maybe there's
do.
a way we can find the connection together?
Yeah, potentially. So
let's play with
it. Yeah, these are my 5 responsibilities. Number 1 is just it's an accounting thing, but I'm basically managing a trust and I have to close it out. So this is all just like legal, finance, like I just have to do the accounting, get it to the lawyer. Nothing that could be done there, but that's my number 1 priority. I have to get that done ASAP for fiscal reasons. So that's number 1. That's like an immovable object, and I just got to do it today and tomorrow. And then number 2, the other immovable object is my new client, which is the private equity firm that BCI backs. And the client just texted me. I think we're meeting this week in person. So I just have a heavy lift on them for the next 7 weeks. I'm just building out a marketplace for them. So that's client first, because you got to serve them in order to get paid. And then next is mastermind. Clearly huge lift there. And that's where I could use help. Specifically on thinking about that Bitcoin user journey, or this Bitcoin group we want to put together to kind of drive the whole ethos of the project. And then the other 2 are we're calling it behind the door, but that's like this global community based out of the LA restaurant that my buddy owns. I think I kind of mentioned that. Yep, that one. And then now just this my first company, which is still running and has like a partner. There's one project on this Amazon business that we run, so I'm still doing that. And I'm trying to actually hire an employee. So I have a new employee that I'm trying to onboard. It's my sister. So I'm trying to get my sister to work, which is good. I don't know if you guys know, but my sister has 2 disabled daughters. So she's been caring for them for most of the last 10 years. So it's been really hard for her to work. And I've been like dragging her to try and run some of my Amazon business so I can pay her. And she's like almost there. So I'm like, fingers crossed, like, because my brother-in-law works at Amazon. They moved to Kentucky with Amazon. He works with them. It's kind of a good fit, but they're just really challenging people to work with because they can't, they're just not self-motivating, if you know what I mean. So maybe some coaching, Eric, if you want to coach my sister. She's wicked smart.
Yeah.
She just needs a good mentor, and it's not her brother.
Yeah, I'm happy to support her wherever she needs and how you feel. I can support her. You can welcome her even on these calls sometimes if she ever feels like just listening in.
She'd love that, actually.
You know, because then, you know, if she wants to open up, she can choose to, and we can go deeper, you know. I think that that's the biggest thing is maybe listening to what she needs and hearing her out might be something that, you know, just a complete stranger that's not really a stranger, but even though maybe that's just what she needs is just somebody to listen for now.
I like
and then
that.
Helping her understand what blind spots she may have with compassion is a very integral part of our journey, so that then she feels really excited to want to open up even more, because when people feel seen, heard, and understood, they feel appreciated. When they feel appreciated, they can open up even more. And from that place, real magic starts to exist, right? They don't feel like they have to not share, because let's be real, in any environment, any room, in any experience, if everybody is speaking, nobody's speaking and nobody's listening. But
that is so true.
Yeah, but if one person is speaking and we're all listening to that person and we're creating a space where we're actually listening to those people, well, then now something new comes to life, because it's the curiosity. You see, sometimes people, they go on stage and they speak not knowing that it's not about them. That stage is actually about the audience, the people that are listening. And when we start asking the audience questions and we start asking the people in the environment questions, well, now the value starts to happen. Now the exchange starts to happen. Now the truth starts to come out, because it's not about the person on the stage, but that's what speakers forget. They think that it's about them. It's not. It's never been about them, but they forget that they're in service to something greater, which is the audience, which is the people that are watching them, which is the people that are listening to them. And that's why the responsibility of the speaker or the coach or whoever's on stage, it's actually about asking the audience questions and getting them to open up, passing them the mic and getting them to listen and hearing what they need to say. That is the wisdom.
I hear you, man.
So yeah, I think that's the cool part. 100% I'm there for your sister, bro. She's my sister too now.
I think she would love this. Yeah. Let me talk to her about that and just have that, like, start to have that more open dialogue with her, because her priorities are always elsewhere on her kids, making sure they're good.
Yeah, and she needs to look after herself too, so she can give even more to her kids, you know?
Yes, that is true. But yeah, those are it. Those are kind of the big priorities. And then
Within
family,
Mastermind,
of course, is priority number one is family.
Yeah.
Above that, of course.
Of course.
And then priority below that is gym for me. That's the biggest thing. I want to clear this stuff out so I can finally kick off a bit of a fitness rehab, because I'm down to $170 and it's just sad.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, sir.
If you actually put your health even above your family, and making sure that you give back to your body and your inherent desire for that energy. That's kind of putting yourself in your own nature so that you can then really give more back to the family and to all the projects and to everything that you do. And so
Mm-hmm.
by looking after your athleticism, your strength, your power, you're then going to be able to show up with that level of energy to everything else that you do. So my suggestion, again, you can take it for whatever you feel, would be to make a routine in the morning, wake up, whatever, 5 a.m., go to the gym for 6, or in the evening before you go to bed or with the kids, like go to the gym or do something for an hour, even get a trainer to help you, like having somebody that can just be with you 3 times a week at the gym might be a super way to engage everything else in your life, because when you have that power in your body, bro, it starts to show up around you.
I like
Just
that.
a suggestion.
That's good advice. I think I like the trainer one too. That's a good way to like kickstart it, because I've been doing it myself, and I am getting signed up at a new gym that my wife works out at. So I think I'll go there and just say, hey, let me get something to kick me off. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I like it. And then this home gym and sauna will get put to use too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do that for three days a week. You go hang out with the trainer, and then the other 2 days, if you want, you could do the home gym sauna stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
whatever
it'll happen
whatever you
naturally. Yeah, it'll
Right.
happen naturally. Yeah. Plus, we finally cleared out the garage. That was the other problem, is we cluttered it up with like Joel's Lego, and then like our vacation, we just dumped the car in the floor. You know how it is. So that's what we did yesterday. I need a little bit of a mise en place, clean plate before I can really make a delicious dinner.
Hey, Andrew, brother, we were talking today earlier about business, and then we philosophized for some time before you jumped on this call. How there is no separation between business and oneself, and and the relationships, and so what do you see? What is business means for you, if that label even fits anymore, the way we operate?
Yeah, I love that. Business to me is a machine. It's like I'm an engineer, and to me, a business is a machine that I want to build, where like the input creates a cool output. Like gas in a car creates a cool output. It creates fun, and like labor, dollars, and creative thought and customer excitement as an input in can create value out, and value does drive things in life that I need and want. So that's kind of how I view business, is like engineering and building something. So it's cool to me, and then within there's morality of what you're building. Is it an engine for death and destruction? Is it a fighter jet? Or is it, a hospital? So you can look at what you're building as. It can be built for good. It can be built for bad. It can be built for efficiency. It can be built for saving the planet. It can be built to be indifferent about the planet. That's my view. So it's just, I finally view it as kind of like a forced entity of.
Yeah, you call it as a machine, and I'm curious because we were talking that also there is no separation between me and my business.
Mm-hmm.
And if I try to say that there is a separation, then I'm not fully owning the business in some ways, the way I operate or think or lead.
Yeah. Then you're treating the business for much more than it is, and I'd worry that you would lose yourself in a business, because you are not a business. I get what you're saying. Like the business exists because of you, and you and the business are one and the same, and that's how it starts. What you need to realize is a business is an opportunity to take a piece of you, the best piece of you that is creative, that is value creating, that wants to connect people, that wants to deliver them something good. And you need to take that piece and go turn it into a machine that can operate without you. That's what's important. That's why businesses run and succeed, because they can, if you get hit tomorrow, your ideas die, your business dies. That's not good, because the business is good if it can run itself and create that value that you want without you even being there. So that's how I would
So
envision it. Be a builder of the
yeah,
engine of the vision you want. But yeah, you and your business will never be one and the same. You're a builder right now. So you're building something and you're so enveloped in it that you think it's you, but it's just what you're building, I think.
mm,
Does that make sense?
yeah. Definitely. It's a
Yeah.
yes and I think for situation, and I see very, very cool, very easy to separate after hearing you, you know, like, okay, if then it also like it again, if that's also, if maybe not necessary intention for majority, you know, in business creation, that it will be automated and it will be fully running by itself when I die. But I see that as a very healthy way of structuring business, to think is like a father about the raising the children, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like so you're preparing children for your own death, pretty much. Like then you know,
Mm-hmm.
like you want your children to operate full on in life when you pass, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. And then another
Mhm.
way to look at it is you don't have to have children, right? I know that's a bizarre concept and I have them, but some people choose to not have children in this life. And as a business person, it's the same thing. Some people find huge passion and love in just being a direct service business and being a consultant. And you know that story of like the fisherman in Mexico? Have you ever heard that one?
Yeah.
Where like this fisherman in Mexico's happy and this businessman
I'm doing it
comes and
now. Why should I do it
fishes
for 10 years? But I'm doing it
it,
now.
exactly, and it's like, you should make a conglomerate and a cannery and I'll make you a millionaire and then you can retire and then you can live on a beach and fish all day. Exactly. So same concept. There's no shame in also being like, look, I have everything. I don't need to multiply and make children. I don't need to multiply and make businesses and copies of myself. Let me just serve and let me, take joy in that. And the passion is in the service. And I trade my time for value, and value comes in the form of money typically. But in advanced, minds, it also comes in the form of favors and karma and other good things. So it's just how you view your service and your passion.
I really like that you're bringing, in some way, very interesting way, you brought value in your service and how you get rewards back from that value, not from the big business, which is, there is no separation, but you like put it in a very interesting way. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very good value creator. I'm not yet a good value capturer, and it's two different skill sets. And when you combine the two, that's typically when you find a lot of wealth, but you can still find a lot of wealth, personal wealth, in value creation. And in the
So
value
what is the good
capture, it's the
value?
hard work. Value
What
capture
would
is
be a
like value
definition of
capture is
good, yeah, of value capturing?
yeah, like I can create value by connecting to incredibly powerful people, right? And I do that all the time. Hey, billionaire, I'm going to connect you with the team that can get your shit done. Value capture is saying, and by the way, I want 3% of the cut. So that's a step that I don't do yet because it's the capture part where I created the value, but I don't have the structure in place, or I don't really have the authority yet, or I don't see myself in that way. There's a lot of reasons that people now think about the opposite. There's a shit ton of people out there that capture value and they don't create it. Scammers, ICOers, crypto coiners, like all those guys, they're great at capturing value, but they don't create it. They get their cut first and then figure out shit below it to get their cut first. So it's a very simple way to look at it and think about it. And when you look for quality people, find people that understand how to create value, but aren't like apparently super rich because they haven't captured the value yet. And sometimes they're not aware of this themselves. So they're always like, man, why do I struggle? Like, why, I'm good at what I do, but I don't get promoted. My boss doesn't recognize me. It's because you're not capturing the value. You're not going to your boss and saying, I need a 5% salary increase next year or I'm out. Like, you're not coming with leverage. And you see a lot of that in you can see that everywhere in organizations or in entrepreneurship. It's all about can you create value, and then can you capture it?
That's a cool
Right.
one.
And you capture a lot more value when you're the CEO, starting with 100% of your own company. You have a lot more opportunity to capture value versus when you're employee number 30 and you're coming in getting, some stock options and some RSUs. You've got a lot less value that you're going to capture, but a lot less risk, right? And a lot different skill set. Right. That's why there's the founder and the CEO, and that's why there's the employee number 30. They're different people and they have different skill sets, and there's nothing wrong with that. Typically, employee number 30 goes on to become employee number 1 at his next company too. So, it's all also about having a very long-term vision into where you and your journey. I was never going to be a 20, 30-year-old Mark Zuckerberg. I just wasn't going to be that type of startup guy. I'm going to be very much like in my 40s and 50s, finding ways to both take the value creation powers that I have that are insane, and then finally capture it and finally go find ways to be like, yep, I can make a huge impact there and grab a ton of the value that I can create.
So how for you then resonates value for value principle, where you leave that completely for let's say you connecting billionaire with the team, and then like, okay, there is a value for both of you. Like, how are you gonna take care of me? It's your responsibility. I don't want to think about it. But that's important to create value.
Yeah, that's how I operate. And I think that's what's happening today because of doing that over the last 20 years. So I just have a value for value network right now. That's good. It's good, but not great. My network could always be much bigger, much more powerful. I know guys that have way crazier networks than me and are connected to, I don't have like XYZ celebrity, that I'm hanging out with that I don't have a billionaire backing me anymore. I used to have a couple, but they weren't, directly my connections. So that's how I view it. Like I've got a really strong base network of credibility that I've built up over 20 years. And then now can I leverage that into an even stronger network because I bring the credibility. And then with that strong network, can I really, make more value and be a part of the capture conversation.
Sounds like you came prepared.
I did, but I came excited too, because I'm seeing what everybody else is building, and I'm like, this is amazing. People are doing good stuff, and I'm excited about how much I can help, because I just see a lot of young entrepreneurs and, builders, and ultimately want to like mentor and coach them, to get their businesses to where I think they could get to as well.
Cool.
What about you, Siggy, my friend? Eric and I do all the philosophical chatting around here, and he needs to be like a professor at my university immediately. But tell us, friend, you just have the best lifestyle. You're thinking about, now what size cork rocket should I build today?
Exactly.
You're just on a totally different level of chill. You have zero. You're looking at your journal. You're looking at your journal. You're like, what's on my to-do list? Blank, 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 blank. You're like, what color is the sky today?
No. In every site, every site there is a word play. So I wrote down in every calendar day, play. And so I wake up, what do I want to play with today? And then of course I think, Andrew, you said you want to have a rocket yesterday, so that becomes my problem now. I need to figure it out.
I saw your text, and my answer is just freewheel it, whatever you feel from the universe.
Perfect. Then
I think number 33 has got to be hidden in there somewhere, maybe on the base underneath, like where the jet fuel's coming out of and igniting on fire is like 33. 33. Yeah. or the cone. Or the nuclear warhead on top of the fusion reactor that ignites the universe.
Super nice.
Anyways. All right, gentlemen, I might load up on a little more coffee and get down to very serious work while the kids are gone. But I do appreciate these mornings. And yeah, this week with my sister, I'm actually like catching up with her and seeing if I can get her set up. And so if you guys send a Zoom link out, on these mornings, I might pull her into one and introduce you guys. That'd be fun.
Cool.
Love it.
Cool. Thanks for showing up. You are our main. You're the most coming in.
You guys, I've started the list of the 33s, and there's only 2 names on the list so far. Meaning, like, only 2 confirmed. These guys are in. There it is.
Yeah.
The first 33 of each.
Yeah, beautiful.
In-ins. You guys are on the in crowds. And you know what the 33 means in the picture of Ace Ventures.
Yes.
That's it, baby. Anything I can do to help you guys, by the way. You guys are powwowing and you're coming up with amazing things. Anything I can do?
Immediately, I would like to let you know then what we are doing, and you can see if you can bridge something. Mondays we have Platinum community coming in from Tony Robbins, and Tuesdays the same. On Wednesdays we pulling in Dr. Joe Dispenza community to come in. What we meant, and people to join the conversations. And on Thursdays is the Burning Man people, like so bridging those communities. And on Friday we have youth leadership coming in. So if you see any of those rings the bell, I think that would be like, if you know burners that are in Bitcoin, or geniuses from Dr. Joe who is in Bitcoin or not, or curious to be in Bitcoin, welcome on those days, and send you the link.
Okay, I've got 2 burners. So send me that info and I'll send that out to them. And then I also have I have another person that I want to connect you to, and she is a part of Jesse Itzler's program. And she's going down a really big path towards creating content and focusing on microdosing. And she's got some like epilepsy, or no, it's not epilepsy, but she has seizures in one of her sons. So she's got a very interesting holistic health history, and we became really good friends at the race we did at Jesse's camp. I'd love for you guys to connect with her because she could probably bring his group in. She's part of his whatever elite group. She would be a good path in, and you guys would vibe. She's an amazing person, Emily Johnson, out of the East Coast.
Yeah, cool. Eric, do you have anything what we need more, or do you need anything?
I'm curious about the mastermind group and what they need in terms of the community, what they need in terms of like what projects they're working on and things like this. Because I think that would be an interesting conversation to create in an open narrative, and maybe doing something like that, like this on a Saturday morning with that community could be of value, where we can start to bridge a lot of their projects and what they're curious about, and integrating that with just the space, because you see the consistency of what's happening here, and what I think most people are seeing is that we're bridging a lot of communities together in one dialogue, and putting them but helping them define their responsibilities in building a new infrastructure. And so I believe that that's important, and maybe a way that some of these people can feel heard, feel seen, feel understood, but then open up to a new narrative of feeling like they're not alone. Because I know how entrepreneurship sometimes can feel like we're doing things all by ourselves. And the truth is that we're not. We're really doing it for something greater than ourselves. And thing I just want to add is that, you know, from my perspective, business is like the most spiritual journey that you can ever undertake. And so that is actually the reason that I see it all coming into one. And that's why helping us define that and understand the reasons of the meaning that we give our businesses is something that might encourage more people to take a more active approach in seeing how their 5, 6, 7 businesses around the world might come together, because at the end of the day, it's a spiral. And so my perspective. But yeah, that's the way that I see things.
Nice. Another thing that comes to add to what's going on April 20, we're having a beach halving party in here in beach in Portugal. So you're both welcome, or anybody who's So we're throwing that
wish. I have approval right now for one trip, which is pretty wild, and I honestly don't think I'm going to pull it off because my plate is just too full. But I got approved to go to Dubai that weekend for Token 2049 because the Jiu-Jitsu team is going to be there, as well as a couple of big PR people. And I looked at the roster of who's going, and I was like, wow, that's a big conference. So I might end up there, because if I do go out there, that is a huge networking opportunity for me. Just like it's like on the level of Atlantis and maybe even bigger. Yeah, so that's all I got approval for from Ariel. She was like, yeah, you can, if you do it, you can go to that, especially if Jiu-Jitsu is going. So TBD, I wish. And I wanted to go to Warsaw. I wanted to go to the having party there and see all our friends and everything. Back to your point, Eric, about the Bitcoin community, that's really where I'd love you guys. Ultimately, what I want to do is get 11 of like the real key thought leaders in this space of Bitcoin mining, tokenizing these machines, understanding how securing that half of the network is good for everyone, and we can get better data and liquidity into. Oh, Ariel's calling me. Let me take that.
No worries. Big love. Talk to you soon, brother.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys.
Cool. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What do we have?
What's your plan for the rest of the day, bro?
Figured it out.
Nice.
Something on a being, and cook some food, enjoy, hang out. Yeah.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Shall we wrap it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do some reading. But it was good to see you, bro. It was a great conversation. Grateful for you as always. And thank you so much for your presence.
Hey, but this is so beautiful what we do. Like I'm inspired by us, by our actions. I really am, and I think that's what matters for me. Like, to be inspired by our own actions. Yeah. So thank
brother.
you.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you for
send
Sunday.
you that.
Thank you for sending Sunday blessing.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you the link for the Thursday burner, people. I'll do that now.
Thank you.
Okay, bro.
Much
Big
love,
love.
and have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful massage.
Thanks, bro. Ciao.
Ciao.